When in grade school, did you ever wish that you could have the same clothes as your peers? My purpose today is to persuade you to vote yes on the proposal to implement a mandatory school uniform. Since I babysit families who do and don't wear uniforms for school, I've seen firsthand how children are affected. After reading many articles and blogs and hearing about the bullying and lack of confidence in kids, it helped me get a better understanding of uniforms overall. Everybody has gone through grades K through 12 or has a kid going through there now. They all have experienced what it's like to be picked on because of what they wear. As a parent, you may never know if your kid is bullied because they don't always bring it home. If you want to stop the verbal or emotional harm that is thrown at children day to day, then getting school uniforms is one of the first steps. School uniforms would stop this feeling that builds up in the youth and help them unite as one. First, I will discuss the problem with the lack of school uniforms. Then I will present two major causes of the problem and conclude with the solution of mandatory school uniforms like these. With my information laid out, let's begin with the problem. If staff and parents are looking for a decline in bullying and an increase in unity, schools should definitely have mandatory school uniforms. For example, many studies show that uniforms unite students into one instead of allowing specific ones to be picked on and bullied because of what they wear. In the article from procon.org, should students have to wear school uniforms, we see just that. One of the studies listed said that 86% of school leaders said uniforms make a significant positive impact on peer pressure. 64% said uniforms reduce bullying. In addition, only 16.5% of public schools in the nation require their students to wear uniforms. If it's known to reduce the stress that the youth carry, then more schools should be trying to implement school uniforms. With the problem presented, let's discuss the causes. There are two major reasons why the school board should require a mandatory uniform. Webster's defines unify as to cause people or things to be joined together or brought together. This is exactly what school uniforms do in the classroom or school environment. The class is brought together as a team, not every kid against each other. The article, Should Students Have to Wear School Uniforms by procon.org, describes a study done in 2007 that found after uniforms were introduced, teachers perceived an increase in the level of respect, caring, and trust throughout the school, and said, students are made to feel important as if they are part of a team by wearing these uniforms. The second reason is that there are fewer distractions and less time wasted in class. When everybody is wearing the same uniform, there's nothing to be distracted by. Everybody is wearing the same thing, so shirts or shorts can't be distracting and take away from learning in class. For faculty, it's easier to enforce the standard dress code rules. Since all the students are wearing the same uniform, they are all set to equal standards. There's no question of what is too baggy or too short. Now that we understand the causes of the problem, let's discuss the solution. The solution, which is to implement a mandatory uniform policy, offers two important benefits. The first benefit is that an equal level would be made for all the students, lowering the levels of bullying and helping students focus on the classes and not their clothing. An article on procon.org also stated, all kids are on the same playing field in terms of their appearance. I think it probably gives them a sense of belonging and feeling of being socially accepted. This eliminates bullying over appearance because of the equal playing field. The second benefit is that school uniforms enhance school pride amongst student, faculty, and overall the community. In an article from edweekly.org called Uniform Effects, a parent states, When I see the uniform, I always stop because I know it's one of my children. She cares for all of the school's safety, and it's important to her, especially knowing it's a child who goes to the same school as her kids. In an article by procon.org, a 2002 study reported significantly more positive perceptions of belonging in their school community than reported by students in a standard dress group. In conclusion, uniforms would be beneficial for students grades K through 12. Now let's review what we've learned. First, we discussed the problem of not having school uniforms, the facts on reducing bullying, and the low requirement rate of uniforms in the United States. Second, we brought up the major reasons the schools want to require uniforms, such as creating a sense of unity and minimizing the distractions in class. Third, we went over the solution. The solution is requiring uniforms to stop bullying and build pride in the schools. Whether you are for or against uniforms, it's necessary to consider all the positive outcomes that could occur. The evidence of improvement is there. By implementing a mandatory uniform, students can focus on their schooling and less on each other. These uniforms will unite the students and the families and reduce bullying. Vote yes for the mandatory school uniform.